Hello again and welcome to another video from the Marketing Study Guide. In this video I'm going to show you how you break out the components of market share. Market share is actually made up of three components. As you can see, I've got listed there share of customer times brand penetration times usage index. Those three individual metrics multiplied together will give us market share. So I'm going to work through how we do that. My name is Jeff and I'm a long-term marketing lecturer and practitioner. Now, here is a spreadsheet. I'm in Excel, as you can see, and I've just got 10 customers listed there. And what I've done for our company, firm 2 and firm 3, so I'm only working with 3 firms in the marketplace. I've gone through and so I've captured this information most probably from a retailer with their loyalty program or some sort of customer database and some sort of data sharing situation to have this level of detail. So for each customer, how much they buy from us in terms of units, these are sales units. So nothing, 70, nothing, 46 units. Our price is the same and gives those two multiplied to give us our revenue. I'd have done the same for competitors, etc. Firm 2 and firm 3, and then I've added them up. So that's the formula, which is just picking up our firm, firm 2, firm 3. So that's our starting data, and I've got the totals down the bottom there. First thing we do is we work out share of customer, but before I come to that, I'll just show you down here is these are the market shares. Now these have been constructed simply from this. So if I show you the formula, okay, it's simply our sales versus total sales. So it's our sales versus total sales gives us that market share. So you know that. So what I'm going to show you is how we construct that using the three metrics, and so we can see the underlying components of our market share. So I'll go back now to share of customer. What I need to do is work out for only our customers, only people who buy our brand. So the first one, remember, was a 0. So there's nothing there. Okay, so I've got a formula there which says, hey, if that number is greater than 0, so if the customer has bought our brand, give me that number. Otherwise, ignore it. Give me a blank. Okay, this is double quotation mark there means just give me a blank cell. And I do the same thing for revenue, and I do the same thing for each firm. So the same formula carries across, and because there's blanks in there, it's not going to affect my averages, etc. And as you can see, I add them up, I get 447 units. And they're the people who bought from us. And this second number here is what those customers bought in total. So this customer here, customer 2, bought total sales of 194. So this formula says if N11, if there's something in there, if it's not equal to blank, if there's something in there, or I could make it greater than 0, it doesn't matter, either formula, then give me their total sales in the market. And then I can work out for customer 2, in this case, we sold them 70 units, they bought 194 in total, we have 36% share of that customer. I then do that for every individual customer, and I get out that we have 38% share of unit sales, and we have 45% of revenue sales. And I repeat the same thing for firm 2 and for firm 3 going across there. Okay, so I now have a share of customer number. So I've got that one there. Next thing I want to have a look at is what's called brand penetration. So I'll come down. Brand penetration is very easy to calculate. It's what proportion of customers we have versus the active customers in the marketplace. So we have 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3, which means we have 7 customers who've dealt with us. And my formula is simply count if this number is greater than 0, and that formula there gives me 7. What I'm interested in is how many customers are in there in total. So I look at total sales. I can see there's 1 0 there. Obviously, if I have a huge database, I'm not going to be able to see this. So that's why I'm using a formula. And in total for everybody, the formula is L19. So go through this and count the number of numbers that are greater than 0. And there's 9. There's 10 customers listed, okay, but one does not buy at all. It's a non-consumer to the market, okay, and we're always going to have that. And this gives us market penetration. So although not needed for this calculation, it does tell us the proportion of people who we have in our target market, but we haven't activated them as an industry, as an active consumer. So the smaller that number, the greater the percentage chance or the greater opportunity of us to bring first-time customers in, okay? And obviously, the closer that is to 100, the more it is just part of lifestyle. People buy it all the time. But what we're working out is out of the 9 customers, how many we get. So for our brand, we get 7 out of 9, which is 78%. Firm 2 has 8 of the 9 customers buying, so their proportions 89%. And Firm 3, everybody deals with Firm 3. Okay, so they've got 9 out of 9, 100% of active customers. So market penetration looks at active and inactive. Brand penetration, what we're interested in, is only looking at active customers. So now we have our second number. Okay, now we want to look at what's called a usage index, because that's going to tell us, are we attracting lighter users or heavier users to our brand? Okay, so some companies deliberately target heavy users. This firm here has a lower price than us or the other companies, so they may be attracting more budget people who buy more, or people who can afford more because the price is lower. So the other factor is, what do we have, high or low usage rates? Okay, so again, I've got customers 1 to 10 listed here. What I'm picking up is a formula here. I'm picking up the total. Okay, so I'm not picking up our own sales, I'm picking up market sales. So number 2 here, customer number 2, I've picked up 194. And you can see I've picked up the same number each time for everybody. So 194, so I'll come up here, Firm 2, that number is here. That tells me that customer 2 bought 194 total in the marketplace. And that's the formula there. I'll just bring that up for you. Okay, that's the formula here. As you can see, that's saying if they are a customer of ours, so there's got to be more than 0, give me what they bought in total. So that will come up with 194. The next row will come up as blank. Let's have a look. So blank, 194, blank, and there's a blank at the bottom. So we can see from the customers who dealt with us overall in the marketplace, they bought an average of 169 units. Okay, and we repeat the same. This one here, the budget brand, their average customer collectively bought 180 on average, and this one is 172. And I do the same thing for every single customer. Obviously, this one never became a consumer, so they're going to stay blank all the way through. So as you can, as I said before, these numbers match up all the way through. And then I simply divide. So our average customer, whether we win their business or not, as long as we win a proportion of their business, we pick up slightly below average. Okay, so 98% odd of average. They're right on average, and they're picking up slightly heavier users. So average users, slightly heavier users, and then slightly below average users. Not much in it, but it does, if these numbers are substantially different, then there's an opportunity for us to go after either high or low users, depending on what we're after. So that becomes our index. So that's our third point. Okay, so there are 3 components. So let's now look at the calculation. As you can see, I have a formula here now. It is index times brand penetration times share of customer. And that gives me 28.9%, which is the actual number. Okay, 58.5 for the second firm. Again, I've got using those three components. Okay, and I've repeated the process down here for revenue. So I've done exactly the same thing, but this time picking up revenue. So I've got share of customer revenue, number of customers and brand penetration is the same as above, and then I pick up revenue. So we can see we've got slightly different numbers here, but we match back 35.43, match back to the actual market share, which is from the calculation. Okay, so how does this help us? This tells us where to improve. Okay, so we've got some market share issues that we want to work on. What is the issue? Do we need to capture more customers? So it's only half the customers in the market dealing with us. Do we need to increase that over at 78%? But if that was a lot lower, we need to get more customers to us. So, if this was only, 3 or 4 out of 9, we need to improve. Obviously, as we can see, our share of customer is low compared to this company here. Okay, it's better than them, but there's opportunities to get more sales. They're already dealing with this, but we need to pick up a bit more of their business. And then finally, do we need to start targeting higher usage customers? So whenever we have a problem in market share, okay, we need to break it down and go, okay, where is the problem? How do we fix this? And this is a great way of doing it, provided that we have the data. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. A good video for you, and please subscribe to my channel.